Welcome to SolidCAM Professor on a series of Getting Started. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, and in this session we'll be showing our second part of mill turn, but this time we'll be doing turning with 5-axis indexial machining. If we take a look at this particular part as you see here, you'll note that this part can be also turned, put onto a lathe, as in the turning operations. But besides that, we also have to mill it on different sides. We have to mill it on this side over here, over there, and this particular angle over there, also around the top over here. In other words, we need to do this, if we want to do this properly and efficiently, we will do this using mill turn with 5-axis indexial. Let's take a look first at our coordinate system manager. In our coordinate system manager, if I open it up, you'll see we have all the necessary homes needed. We have a home for position 1, position 2, as you see, position 3, position 4, all the necessary positions that are needed, we've created home positions. If I will take this on a side view, you'll see that in this particular area we'll be machining this section over here, and so on and so forth. In other words, basically every single side has its own home position, which is necessary for 5-axis indexial machining. Now if I take a look at my list of operations, my first operation, as you can see, my turning operation, using Mach 1 position 1. If I go into the operation itself, you'll see I have my geometry, and my geometry in this particular case is this area over here. Let's take the proper view of it. Basically working along over here and just going up and out past the point over there. That's all I want to do right now. Just do this and that, just to turn this particular area over here. Of course, I've chosen the proper tool that I need. In my technology area, I'm doing both rough and finish. Both options are being used. And if I use my simulation, you'll see that basically I'm just cleaning off the outside of this area. And if I use my solid verify simulation, and I'll try to do it a little slow, it's going out basically and turning down this diameter over here. Now my next operations, I'll be starting to do the milling of these walls around, as you see over here. Now, instead of doing 4 separate operations, one for each wall over here, and in other words, creating also a separate home position for each one of those walls, what I've done is very simple. In the operation, and I'll be using this time Mach 1 position 4, my geometry is just this one line here. The tool that I will be using will be a 16mm tool. My levels, obviously my profile depth will be up until this surface as seen here. And my technology, I'll be doing a rough and a finish. And I will be using a clear offset in order to work from the outside in to clear this area. What I've also done, though, is not only do I want to clean this wall, as I said before, I also want to clean these walls. So my geometry is just that one wall. But what I've done here, and if you notice there's this little 4 in this little corner over there, what I've done is actually gone into the option in my operation of transform and gone into transform 4th axis. And what I've done here is simply say the following. First, include the original. Do the original geometry that I've chosen. Then turn the part to 90 degrees. Do that same geometry on 90 degrees, 180, and 270. That way I cover all the sides in this simple operation by simply creating one geometry and then just adding on the translation option of fourth axis. And I've done the same for my next operation on this surface. And what I've done there, if I go into my transform area, I've done the original and only one turn of 180 degrees. If I do my simulation of both of these operations, you'll see that my tool will go in, as you see, clearing this area over here. I'll let it run now straight in slow motion. Now it turns to the next side. Same thing on the other side. And the same thing on the bottom. And now for my next operation, it'll do the same thing here. Clear one side, and then turn 180 degrees, and then finish off the other side. Now I'll continue my next operation, now switching my Mac, and working on this particular surface down there. And I've had this particular surface over here also, each one in their own particular Mac position. All I've done there, again, is I've simply gone into my operation. In this particular case, profile operation. I've chosen my Mac position of Mac 1 position 5. My geometry, as seen here, in this particular case, is this line over here. And what I've done, I have my levels, as you see, up until that floor. My technology, again, I'll be using a rough and finish with a clear offset to cover this entire area over here. And then again, when I do my simulation, using, again, Solid Verify, you'll see that my tool will go down on an angle, milling off the material up until it gets till the very edge. And I've done the same thing with the second side, just using a different home position to do that. As I continue on now my operations, I still have to do this area here, and that was simply done in this particular operation by using Mac 1 position 4. And what I've done here is very simply created my geometry, which was simply this curve around here. My tool levels, upper level, profile depth. If I do my simulation, a simple profile operation, and I'll use the Solid Verify option, you'll see that the tool will simply go over, mill around, until it clears the entire part. And we've basically continued this process through the rest of the part itself. In other words, every single side that I have to mill on, I just simply pick the position. For example, this position over here, looking at it from the side, I have to work on this face over here, Mac 1 position 1, and I have to do the pocket that's over there. So simply create a pocket operation using Mac 1 position 5, where my geometry is again this boundary as seen over here. Obviously the proper tools, the proper levels, whichever technology I would like to use. And again, when I do my simulation, you'll see that the tool simply goes in and machines out that entire area over there. And the same thing on the other side, or anything else I may have to do, whether it be doing the profile on this side over here, doing the profile on the opposite side, drilling operations, everyone according to its home position. These drilling operations as seen here, these over here, and last but not least, these drilling operations over here. Simple profile operations using mill turn, turning the very first part in the beginning, and then finishing off the rest of the part with 5-axis and deck seal machining. Let's just do now a simulation on the entire part from the beginning to the end. And again, we'll use the Solid Verify simulation. We have our turning operations, our milling to sides, as seen over here. Each step, both sides. Again, the angles, the top edge, the pocket on the side. Every single area that needs to be drilled out is also drilled out. And we basically completed our entire part. Thank you for joining us on SolidCAM Professor. Take care and have a nice day.